Hello, I'm John from Epson Speakers, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up your meeting using the Zoom app. Now, I have the Pro version, which allows me to go on for more than 40 minutes. You do not need the Pro version when you're trying this out. You will need the Pro version once you run a meeting. But to try it out and just have a few people in for 10-15 minutes, you do not need the Pro version. You can use the free version. Now, I believe the best way to announce a meeting is to use your personal meeting code, which is for the copy of Zoom that you'll be running. That way, there's only one number for everybody to remember, and you don't have to keep scheduling new reference codes for each meeting. But they can't join the meeting until you're there, so you want to join the meeting first. So we'll start a new meeting. We'll join with computer audio. It's a good point to test your computer audio. If you need to change your audio, you can click on the button. It gives you a list of all your audio settings and all your video settings. Because I'm going to have multiple computers in this room all joining the same meeting, I'm going to mute this computer, but I am going to start the video because I've got another video camera, and there I am on a video camera. Hello to my video camera. I am now ready to accept people, and I'm going to click on this manage participants, so I get a list of participants down the right hand side, and I'm also going to start up the chat button as well, so I get the chats underneath, and I'm just going to address this situation here in the more buttons. I want to mute all participants on entry so that I don't get lots of voices all coming up at the same time. And I'm not going to allow participants to unmute themselves for now. I'm going to take full control of when people are, so that will stop people interrupting speeches. I'm going to allow participants to rename themselves, that's fine. And I'm going to have the little ding dong when people come in the room just to help me understand what's going on. So that's me now open for business, waiting for people to join. And let's have our first person to join, which is going to be our Dell laptop. So on our laptop, we say join a meeting. Now, I don't need to type in that number because I've already used it once, and once you've used it, it's remembered. But otherwise, and I don't want that one, I want John's. Or maybe I do have to type the meeting number in again then. So let's look it up again. If I mouse over, I can see what it is. 532. And as I said, if you use your personal number for the application you're running, that won't change. So I can say, remember my name for future meetings. Turn off, no, that's fine. Now we hear a ding dong. We do hear a ding dong, and you can see that I've tried to join the meeting, and my little face is now appearing in front of everybody else. So we now have two participants, as you can see down the right hand side, and I can make myself pin to be on the front because there's two of us. So I can pin myself to be on the front because there's two of us. When there's three, we'll have another trick. So I need another laptop. Just happen to have another laptop. So I'm now going to join with another laptop. And this one remembers the number and it joins. Ding dong. And we hit join with computer audio. So we know they're okay because they're up here. In fact, I'm going to rename them. I'm going to rename. Oh, I'm renamed the mailing laptop. So who's the other John Drinkwater? Oh, you are. So if I rename this one here, That makes it more obvious who Dell laptop is. Good. Okay, so we've got the 3 people here, and now we have 3 people. We now can do a trick called pin. So I can go to myself and I can say spotlight. And as a spotlight, I now can't be knocked off. So I'm now the main person. So I will now invite my iPad to join us. Join the meeting. Need a meeting ID. I've used it before, so it will be there for me. Join. Ding dong. Now, do you notice on the right hand side here, I haven't selected the audio yet. So if they haven't selected the audio correctly, you can see on the right hand side, you can see there's the picture for the camera crossed out. So they haven't got video, but there's no icon there for the microphone. So that means they haven't set up a microphone. So if you see somebody doing that and they start waving at you or whatever, and you can tell them you haven't set up your microphone, you need to do that. So I will do that. And 2 seconds later it's back. I can even unmute it now, but I can't because I told you can't unmute. So I try and unmute, I can't unmute. You need to unmute people one at a time. If they want to attract your attention, they can raise their hand. Let me show you on the Dell how you raise your hand. So if we open up the participant screen and the chat screen, just so it looks right. So you see in the participant screen at the bottom here it says raise hand. So I can raise the hand as a Dell, and you see the little hand icon is there. If we go to the main host screen, you can see the little icons there. So I know that Dell needs my help. I can now unmute Dell, I can talk to Dell, and when I'm happy that Dell's happy, I can then lower Dell's hand for myself, or Dell can lower their hand themselves as well. So we now have 3, well, there's 2 people here who haven't got their cameras on. So I will now ask Alien, can you please turn your camera on so that we can see you? And Alien will turn their camera on. And who else hasn't got their camera on? Oh, iPad. iPad, can you turn your camera on? So there we are. And you can selectively unmute people. So you can say, Alien, we're going to test your audio now. You are now live. Can you see something? And can you hear the echo? That he's working. And then you can mute him again. You can say, Dell, will you test your microphone now? Yep, that works okay. And iPad. iPad, hello. I've got an echo, so I know it's working. So there we are. But why not? Let's try one more. Let's see if I can get my phone to join. Firstly, we'll make sure the sound is on. Secondly, we'll make sure it's on wireless, because I don't really want to start running this through. Okay, now I need the number because I'm not connected to this one before. Yes, I have. So hit join meeting. And there we are. It's a bit slower than all the others, but it is there. Can start the video for it as well. And there we have. Now you can you see how slow it is? It's it's getting going now. But there's a much bigger delay on the old mobile phone. But it is working. It can be used if you really need it to. So there we have all my little friends all together. And if we're going to start the meeting, let's make the the Sergeant Arms. I'll probably do the Sergeant Arms intro because most things the Sergeant Arms is going to talk about are things that I have control on, like you can't talk because I'm muted. Turn your mobile phone off to describe your facilities. Well, you know what your facilities are because you're at home. I don't know. and in the event of a fire, please leave your building quickly and we'll join with you later, and the rest of us will carry on with the meeting. But I need to pass on to my president. My president is going to be on my iPad. So the way I pass over to a president is I can spotlight the president. And the reason we use spotlight is because if people have got the other view, which I'll just show you very quickly, the gallery view, if they've got this, then it's difficult to know who the speaker is. But if I go and I do spotlight, it forces the screen, you see, it forces the screen to go back to this full thing. So I am on the iPad now as the president, and I can welcome everybody, and then I want to pass on to the Toastmaster, but of course I can't speak because I wasn't unmuted, so don't forget to unmute this. And the president can now talk, and the president can then, when they finish talking, introduce the Toastmaster. So what you need to do now is go back to the Toastmaster, which is actually me. Now, for safety's sake, just hit mute all, and that gets everybody out, and then you want to find yourself and spotlight yourself. See, and unmute myself, of course, so I can talk to everybody, and I'm now live. And if you want to pass the control over to somebody else, like the Dell, you can just go spotlight, and then unmute them, mute yourself, and they are now able to talk. But I'm going to mute him again because of the echoes. Supposing I want to pass control to another person so they can take control of the meeting, so they are the Toastmaster. Well, the way you do that is you just do the right click and you say make host, and that's it. Although you are prompted to make sure that that's what you really wanted to do in case you hit it by mistake. So do I want to give Dell Laptop the ability to be the host? I say yes. On the Dell laptop, it now has a little box which said you are the host now. So the Dell now can, it's spotlighted already at the moment, so that's fine. Can unmute their audio, can talk to everybody, and now has control. So if they then want to put the alien laptop on the screen, they can then right click, spotlight that person, unmute them, and the Dell laptop is now the speaker, but the Dell is the host still. And then when Dell decides that's finished, they can then mute all if they want to. They want to put themselves on the screen, so they spotlight themselves, they can unmute themselves, and we'll now have the next speaker ready. And then you can pass on to them. And if you want to pass the control back to the other computer, I can mute myself and I can just make John the host, excuse me. I've got John as the host now, and they now have control, and they can now take control of the meeting. And that, guys, is all there is to it. It really is quite easy. So the main things to remember are, when you start up, you've got to start up ahead of everybody else. You want to make sure that you go this little more thing here, and you mute everybody when they come in. You allow them to change their names, you play their number. You can highlight yourself when the first person joins, pin your video, which puts you on there. But once you get past 3 people, then the proper way to do it is to spotlight. That will mean that everybody will go to the speaker's view, and they will then be able to see the speaker as a big screen, and you can then change people from spotlight to spotlight, move them around. But do remember that spotlight is one action. The other action you need to do is to unmute their audio. Once you are wanting to turn maybe the control over to another member of the club, you can do that by the right click and make host. It asks you to confirm in case you said in case you chose the wrong person or done it by mistake. They then have the control, and they are then responsible for muting, unmuting, and spotlighting everybody else. When you finish the meeting, all you need to do then is choose the end meeting button here, and those are the minimalist solutions to running a meeting online. We'll do a video about more advanced things afterwards, but that is the simple way of running a meeting. As you can see, it's not actually that difficult. So I wish you well, and I'm sure there'll be lots of messages flying around people how they get on, but that is the simple way to run a meeting. Good luck, Toastmasters. I am John, VP PR. You can always send me a message, PR at Epsom Speakers, if you need to. Might run some webinars on this, whatever, to get you going, but in a nutshell, that's how it works. So I will end the meeting for all, so everybody gets disconnected. Otherwise, it's the last man standing type situation. So all of them now, the meeting has ended, and I will now upload this onto the District 91 website, where all the other videos that are Zoom related will go as well, so that you can see them. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck. And just remember, Toastmasters is the place where we make mistakes safely, so don't worry if you make the odd mistake. But I don't think I'll make that many. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.